Good evening, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure and great honor to introduce Colonel Daryl DJ Reyes, U.S. Army, retired, as the 2020 recipient of the Reverend William Corby, C.S.C. Award for Distinguished Military Service. Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they made a difference in this world. Marines don't have that problem." Well, I can tell you that DJ Reyes doesn't have that problem either. Growing up, DJ aspired to two things: to follow in his father's footsteps as a soldier and to graduate from the University of Notre Dame. Through an Army ROTC scholarship, DJ not only earned his commission in the Army, but also received the prestigious Patrick M. Dixon Award as the top graduate, the top cadet in Notre Dame's Army ROTC program. Many of you may remember an old Army recruiting slogan, "Be all you can be." Since graduating in 1979, DJ has exemplified being all he can be as a soldier, as a husband and father, and as an advocate and mentor for veterans who find themselves in the criminal justice system. First, as a soldier, he completed over 33 years of distinguished service in military intelligence and special forces fields. He earned his Juris Doctor from Temple University and often deployed to global hotspots that I don't think the traveling Irish send brochures for. Anyone who has served in the military knows that you can't be an army of one. It takes a strong family support team to make things happen. So as a husband and father, DJ married his best friend, Julie, who is cut from the same cloth as DJ and shares in his commitment to serving others. And she's the CEO of the Diversity Action Coalition, a Tampa nonprofit. DJ and Julie have 3 children, fraternal triplets. Pretty good. Alex, Christian, and Sam and his family has joined him tonight. And I'd also like to welcome and let's clap again because DJ and Julie this weekend are celebrating their 17th wedding anniversary. And also at the table with us tonight is DJ's roommate from Notre Dame, from Howard Hall, who they've not seen each other in 41 years, if you can believe it. And Dave Wemhoff says, if you want any dirt on DJ, speak to him a little later. In 2013, DJ made the transition from military service to community service. After watching an ABC News report about a veterans treatment court in Texas, DJ spearheaded the effort to help start a VTC in the 13th Judicial Circuit Court in Hillsborough County, Florida. From a small beginning of one mentor DJ, and 6 veterans, the Tampa VTC has grown and is recognized as a model for all other veterans courts throughout the country. And in 2019, it was the largest VTC in the nation, having now over 200 mentors and a docket of 250 veterans, with a 92% success rate in their treatment of the veterans. DJ's exemplary military service and passionate advocacy for his fellow veterans are in keeping with the highest ideals of God, country, Notre Dame that Father Corby embodied. Please join me in giving a Fighting Irish welcome to Colonel DJ Reyes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please sit down. I still can't believe I'm here. I feel like Forrest Gump. Wow. I woke up, all of a sudden I'm back at Notre Dame campus after 17 years. This is almost surreal. It is surreal. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart and my family's heart. For this incredibly humbling award. I was asked earlier today what the Corby Award meant to me. I think you see it on this little thing that they wrote up about me and the little quote, but I really mean that. I mean, God, Country, and Notre Dame are very aligned with what our military ethos and our value systems are. Whether you're in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard, it really is the same. And so, Notre Dame really set a template for me, of course, first set by my own family growing up as a military brat, but then coming to this great institution where they taught me about God, Country, Notre Dame. What I didn't know or had a real appreciation or inkling for was really what those words meant until I served in the Army, and especially when I deployed. And I saw a lot of things that many of us have here in the room that have deployed. We've seen a lot of conflict, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of human suffering. And I think that's what's unique about Notre Dame. I was telling a couple of the cadets earlier today when I went to the ROTC building, I said, I think that's what kind of sets us apart a little bit from some of the other officers, and even some of the academy officers, I dare say, the service academy officers, because we have that extra teaching based and grounded in faith. And I think that, and I can think of many examples where that has come to light, and that has, at least for me, has helped me in my journey to get me to this point right now before all of you. I'd like to thank some folks because this is what it's about. It's not about me. I just happen to be here, but there's a whole bunch of supporting cast of folks in my life that have done so much. And I want to talk about them just for a couple minutes, but before I do, I want to first thank Dolly Duffy and the Alumni Association. Ma'am, thank you very much. We've been talking for like 2 years now because of COVID. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought at one point I was going to wait for the USPS man to show up and give me and say, here you go, and have the postman award it to me on behalf of the university. And I said, no way, because Bob Noonan told me I'm going to get a dinner out of this, so I'm showing up. So I'm coming back to Notre Dame. But thank you so much, you and your wonderful staff, especially over the last 72 hours. They've done an incredible job taking care of Julie, me, and the kids, and making sure we're here. So thank you. I also want to say, too, that this is a wonderful program that the Alumni Association does in honoring its men and women, its brothers and sisters from Notre Dame who then donned the uniform and defended our nation or continue to defend our nation today. thank you for doing this, for honoring us as a military community. Thank you very much. I have to next thank my Tampa Bay partner in crime. He knows who he is, Mr. Mike Martin, and his lovely bride, Brenda. Thank you, Mike. Mike is a wonderful person, but I wasn't sure he had much on common sense, because he said, hey, DJ, I'm going to put you in for this Corby Award. And the first thing I said is, wait a minute, isn't that the bar at Notre Dame? And he said, well, yeah, but that's not what the award is. It's for the Reverend Corby. And I'm like, oh, that guy, yes. I know that guy. I read my history. I know it was Gettysburg. And he said, no, I'm going to put you in. And then he gave me the link, and he said, hey, just to look this up and get a little smart on it. And I did. And then I noticed not only what the award was truly all about, but I noticed the past recipients. And then I went back to Mike and I said, Mike, you're taking something illicit, because, I'm not so sure. I don't fit in this group of guys, in this company of soldiers and sailors. And Mike, being the man of faith as he is, said to me, DJ, you got to believe, you got to have faith. And I'm glad I did. So thank you, sir, for the nomination. I appreciate it. Now, Gipper was right. It's been 41 years since I last saw that guy right there, Ranger Wimhoff, my Army Ranger buddy. And I don't want to get emotional, but I did see him yesterday at Starbucks in the hotel, and true to form, as I always did 41 years ago, I was able to sneak up on him. But that's because I'm half your size. So it was easy. I was in whole defilade, and I was just kind of moving along. It was a very emotional reunion. I'll just share with you all. He blamed it to the allergy season and hay fever and all that. But I got to tell you, Dave, again, thanks for rearranging your schedule, for sharing in fellowship with me, my wife, and my kids. You know this means the world to me. Over 4 decades. Can you believe it? I still can't believe it. But you know what? We're still standing. We got all our body parts, and we're still laughing. So God bless you, my friend.
Thank you.
Another 4 years. To my kids here at the table, Alex, Christian, and Sam, I'm very proud of my kids. I know sometimes Dad's a little tough on him because he's an Army guy, right? But I just want to publicly thank you. I'm grateful for your patience and your understanding, because I had to pull them out of school. And they like school, and they're doing well in school. And so it was a little bit of an adjustment, but we got them out, and I said, it's going to be great. And I got to tell you, I'm positive by the end of this weekend, you're now going to understand why Dad yells at the TV set every Saturday afternoon and talks to himself. You will understand. You'll say, oh, it's NBC or Peacock, whatever it is. Okay. We won't get on the Peacock thing. Okay. To my wife, Julie, it's easy for soldier, sailor, airman, marine service members, to do great things and get awards and recognized. But oftentimes, they forget that the only reason why service members can do what they do 9 out of 10 times is because they have spouses. In my case, my Ranger buddy, Julie, who has held up the trains, who has moved the family, who has like many military families, the military spouse bears the brunt, where servicemen and women are trained to do what they do, and especially when they deploy, it is the military spouse that is often left in the rear, often in the dark, in the fog of war, and dealing with half the combat power they had before. And they do it without, fanfare. They just march on and they do it. And they just keep things together. And I got to tell you, if Julie wasn't able to do that, I would not have my head on straight when I was deployed. And I know I speak for every serviceman and women and their spouses on that. So I would ask you all to give a round of applause to my wife here. Okay, finally, there's two guys that I do have to talk about, and the reason why this is kind of special is because they're not here tonight. They're here spiritually. The first person was my old Bengals boxing coach. I knew him as Uncle Charlie. Many of you would know him as law professor emeritus Charles E. Rice from the Notre Dame Law School. What some of you may not know is that he was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Marine Corps Reserve. He retired as a lieutenant colonel. I will tell you that the sessions that he put us through in training were worthy of being a Marine. He was tough. The lessons that I learned in the ring for the 4 years I fought in the Bengals and with him as coach were invaluable. But what was more invaluable were the lessons I learned from this man outside of the ring, all the way to when I was deployed in Iraq. I kept in contact with him all the way until his passing in 2015. But I would just want to cover just one incident that I will always remember, and it's a happy one, I think. So it was in the year of 2007 and 2008. I was deployed for another 13-month tour, this time to Baghdad, Iraq. That was the worst time in Iraq's history for Sunni Shia violence. So I was there working for my old boss, General Dave Petraeus, running a multinational intelligence operations center. And they were long days and long nights. Well, Professor Rice would write to me on emails just to check on me, say, hey, how you doing, soldier? And I told him, I said, well, it kind of sucks, but, it is what it is. I miss my family. I miss my wife and my kids. But you know what I really miss? I miss Notre Dame football. I mean, you can't catch it out here. We're in the middle of a war. People are shooting at us. I want to watch Notre Dame football. And I'm running into a whole bunch of Golden Domers. They keep walking by. They walk by my hooch. They see my big Notre Dame sign. And they come in and they go, sir, are you from Notre Dame? And I'm like, no, that's North Dakota. What the heck do you think that is? Of course I'm from Notre Dame. Is there any other school? So then we built the team. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. So I wrote to the professor and I said, if there's any way you can send me anything, any kind of football, anything that I could watch, I could show the troops out here. Lo and behold, in the spring of 2008, what do I get but a box, 46556. I think that was the zip code. It's from Notre Dame. I see the Golden Dome on there. Like a kid on Christmas Day. Here I am ripping it up. Boom, 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 rip it up, pull it out, a stack full of CDs of Notre Dame highlights of football. I was so happy until I saw the title on it for the 2007-2008 season. So that was like 3-9, and we lost to the Naval Academy. Come on. Hey, 3 wins. And so this is what I did. In Baghdad, we would have movie night. Everybody had movie night, and it's Thursday night. So I put out an edict. Thursday night is football night. I will put it on the big jumbo screen, and we will watch football. The problem is it was only 3 games. I would keep rotating. It was Stanford, UCLA, and Duke. And I had to fight off the Navy guys. They wanted the CD, and I shredded it. I made sure I shredded it. I got rid of it. This is all true. I'm not making this up because I'm at Notre Dame. I would not lie in this place. Okay. So, but anyways, I say this because right now I know Uncle Charlie is looking down from heaven and he's laughing. He's like, that kid with the no left hook, there he is. He's going at it again. I just got to say, Uncle Charlie, I know you're watching. I love you. You were a great mentor, a great leader. We all miss you. Semper Fi. The second person I want to thank is my dad. He's still alive. God willing, next month he'll be 89 years old, but he's not in the best of health. If he were in the best of health, he would be here. Trust me, because I don't know anybody that loves Notre Dame more than my dad. And in fact, I know so because he's the reason why I came to Notre Dame. There's 2 things. First, when I was a kid, he was in the Army. We lived on the military base. I was an altar boy, okay? And did a lot of chores around the house. And my dad would use psychological operations on me. He would tell me, hey, look, okay, here's all your chores. You got to do all this. You got to clean the car. You got to wash the car. You got to mow the lawn. You got to pull the weeds. You know, clean the house. Blah 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 blah. And then Saturday and Sunday, you got Saturday mass. You got to do the 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Then Sunday, you got the 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Don't be late. Do it. Now, if you do all that to standard, then and only then will I reward you. At 1:30 on Sunday, we'll sit down in front of the TV with the rabbit ears. I got a cold pizza, we'll throw it in the oven. I got a thing of iced tea, and you and me will sit and watch Lindsey Nelson cover the highlights of the Notre Dame football game the previous Saturday. And I'm thinking, what a deal. So that's what I did, and the brainwashing began as a kid. That was it. Seriously, that was it. Now, years later, fast forward, senior year. I applied to some good schools. I was so excited because I got it narrowed down to 2 schools. My dad was getting ready to retire from the Army after 25 years of faithful service to the nation. And I said to my dad, Dad, you're going to be proud of me. I got great news for you. I got accepted to 2 schools. It's down to the United States Military Academy at West Point or the University of Notre Dame on a 4-year Army ROTC scholarship. My dad looks at me straight in the eyes and he says, son, it is every serviceman's dream to watch their son march in the long gray line. I'm like, wow, I got it. Yes, sir, got it. I turn around, and as soon as I turn around, he grabs me in the back of my scruff of my neck, and he pulls me back, and he says, son, I'm not done talking to you yet. I'm like, yeah, you are. I got it. I heard what you said. He said, no, I didn't finish my sentence. He said, let me finish. I'm like, okay. And then he looked at me again in the eyes, and he said, before you were an itch in my pants, I bled blue and gold. And then he said, but it's your decision. Make sure you make the right one. I kid you not. And the rest is history. God, country, Notre Dame, on behalf of all of our Fighting Irish military alum, past, present, and future, from Gettysburg to Kabul, I am humbled to accept this award. Thank you. Army Strong, go Irish!